So I played this every day for 2 years. I didn't have the Welkin Moon until probably 6 months into playing. I was free to play for the first 6 to 8 months, and then I'd say I had a year and a half of like Welkin Moon playing Genshin, and I logged in every day because of the Welkin Moon. You log in every day, you do your dailies, do a bit of the story maybe, and then you log out and do something else. But time on this game can take anywhere from, say, a few minutes, depending what you want to do, to sometimes a few hours if you've got something like Spiral of the Abyss, a new event to do, sometimes multiple events to do. But every day, every day, and you could argue why I quite enjoyed the experience. I think when there's initially the story is going, as always, there's way too much sort of useless dialogue, I think, in this game. But that's obviously done intentionally to try and spend more time and other things in the game. But a lot of that aside, I don't really want to talk about that. It's the fact that like I stopped probably a few months ago. Didn't renew my Welkin. That was the main thing that I knew I had to do in order to stop. Is just not renew the Welkin. Just consider it like a waste. But I've collected the characters I wanted to collect. I've done most of the story I've wanted to do, and it's pretty good experience. I'd say it's a great, as a game should do, it's a great distraction from reality and from other things, and particularly the beginning experience is fantastic. Quite a complex game for what is kind of known as meant to be just an easy gacha game. This was also by far my first gacha game. I would say I've played. Uh, Outside of a lot of the early sort of loot box games. I think of the sort of early days of like Battlefield, I think you had loot boxes and Overwatch as well, having loot boxes and stuff. But realistically, with banners and things, this was like my sort of first gacha game, and it's no different really, other than basically you're buying time a lot of the time in something like this, and it's very expensive time to buy. But equally, if not, you have to look at doing something like that. I initially wanted to play this because I saw how popular it was with creators on YouTube and with streamers. And that's what baited me. And unfortunately, I think that's worked tremendously well for Hoyoverse in basically being like, hey, if you play this anime game, you will have a substantial audience base that will be willing to watch you, because why not? You're obviously fantastic, right? So who wouldn't want to watch you? And so you've got all these small communities established of creators that are just basically known for playing this game, and not even necessarily well, they're just known for doing it. And I was sucked in by that. I was like, oh, I can just play this game and I can establish my own community while enjoying this anime game that's very familiar to me, because it's sort of somewhat like Zelda. So it feels nice. It feels like an extension of sort of Breath of the Wild with different mechanics. It's refreshing, and it is as an adventure game, it is very good. I think adventuring and stuff in this. Some of the puzzles are obviously extremely tedious, but that's, I'm afraid, what you're looking at with these sort of style Nintendo audience kind of. That's just what it is. Sort of made for everybody, basically. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. I think it just gets to a point where this is it. It's got to be over. You can't play these games forever. And I did it significantly at the beginning. I was clueless. I had no idea what I was doing. My builds were terrible. I was playing the game wrong. The game's all about using elements and reactions and countering elements and stuff like that. Initially, I was playing the game like it was Zelda and using the swords and the spears and stuff like that. And you can do that, but it's extremely copium. And unfortunately, a lot of people do still kind of do that. They'll like. I've seen a couple of the bigger CCs. Even a guy that did a video on it, he was still, for the second time he did a big video on it in brackets. He was still going around using like physical Bennett for some reason. I have no idea what's going on there, but I guess that's the reality of it. There is no right way to really play it, but there's obviously some ways to make it will be easier than others. It is quite complex, which is why the guides and stuff is necessary. But I was quite grateful a while ago that they did. There was some drama within the creator space, more so than in the consumer space. Definitely the creator space, of basically pointing out how much majority of the creators were kind of under contract. And I noticed this probably about a year after playing into this game, and I tried not to pay it too much attention. But unfortunately, it was very dominant, and it was dominant for a reason. But subsequently, basically, there was about what anywhere from about sort of 10 to I think about 20 plus creators that are paid specifically by Hoyoverse, have got contracts with Hoyoverse to play this game, and they have boosted views, they have they have bot comments, they have everything they need to basically make sure that the algorithm prefers them. So smaller creators can't get in. Now, I think you can privately go your own way. You can go your own botting method. You can probably find some Russian website that will give you instant like 10,000, 100,000 views, whatever. That's never appealed to me. But something that I noticed when I did quite a number of guides, even like the one I'm seeing here, is that the views never came from my channel. I did so many sort of odd views, and I never got to finish. This was a guide series I was making for this game, and I was going through my characters, and I was sort of starting at the bottom and working my way up, and I got about sort of quarter way, third way through it, and I just kind of gave up with the whole thing. Because I'd put so much effort into a lot of these characters, the builds, the team comps, and how much time behind the video I had done testing different various compositions and things, and it all took so much time to the video to turn around and get like maybe 100 or videos or something, 100 views or something. It's like this is kind of in my head. I wanted this to be a 10,000, 100,000 view video easily. It gets like a couple of hundred, probably not even that in some cases. And I don't know. I stayed with it longer than I did, and then I recently, the last sort of few videos I did around Genshin, I saw like a creator that didn't even play the game, cover the game, and I presumably had a contract to do a few videos or something for the game. Regardless, ended up pulling out like 500,000 views out of nowhere on a few absolutely terrible videos, and that kind of just threw me off the edge of it all. Really, that was just like, I just absolutely, what am I doing? What am I doing? This guy doesn't even play the game. Small creators such as myself, and he somehow gets 500,000 views on his Genshin videos, and I'm sitting there like, I've been playing this game for like 2 years. I can't get more than a few views. That was painful. I don't know. So I haven't deleted it, but I don't play it anymore. It's sad because I really do quite enjoy it. I think the mechanics are quite fun. As I said before, my biggest gripe is probably the dialogue. And how lengthy and pointless a lot of dialogue is, and how obviously Paimon has to reiterate what you've just heard. I wish there was an option to turn that off, to be honest. But on the whole, it's a very lovely, sweet little anime game, and I think the actual fundamentals of the fighting and stuff's really good as well. But it's just sad. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I guess I fell for the marketing, I suppose, and I can see why. And it's going to keep happening. You see it now. Even more people starting this game for the first time, wanting to make videos. And there's probably someone, if you're already an established streamer, you can probably play a game like this and have a terrific time and increase your audience substantially. But otherwise, if you're doing what I did, like one or two views, that's just never, even that's why I did the videos, and it's never anything happened. I'm sure I've got a few subscribers that came from these videos, but I don't know. I think at this point, if I'm going to play it, I need to actually have one of these contracts and actually get my bank that I'm owed with it. Really, I've put, I think, nearly 2,000 hours on this game in about 2 years, as I said. So it's been great to take a break. I didn't really want to make this video as such, but I kind of also did, just to try and get it off my chest. There might be like one person wondering why did I end up stop doing this all of a sudden. That's kind of why. Recently watching some of the Tech Tone stuff, and he basically noted, I just watched this a few minutes ago, it's not just me. There's actually, since they kind of blew the lid on these contracts and who these people are, because at the end of the day, like, it's like going to like a brand spokesperson or the CEO of a brand and turning around being like, is your product good? they're not going to tell you it's not good, are they? You know, they're not going to turn around and say, don't do this or don't buy this because they want you to be a customer. So at the end of the day, this is what annoyed me with this a lot of the creators, that you could clearly tell that they were kind of lying or manipulating the audience just in order to please the contract. And at the end of the day, money talks, you know. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it's just annoying to see that, like, you know, these videos get 500,000 views and you can't compete with them. You know, that's what they've done. They've made this like platform essentially, so they've got kind of like what they did in Call of Duty as well with the streamers. They've given these privileges to like a handful of people, and they just kind of dominate the creator space. And it's very hard for a small person to even even step in the circle. You know, it's very difficult. um I think the story from Sumeru also fell off. I think the desert, as soon as they released the desert, I lost pretty much all interest in a lot of the story. I don't know what it is. Inazuma was so cool, and to be fair, even parts of Sumeru were really cool to explore. But I never even explored the desert. It just never even interested me. I did a lot of the random quests and stuff around there, but I just never found any of it interesting. And then Fontaine's kind of in a similar boat. Really quite excited for its release. And then like the actual initial town is laid out like it's beautiful, but it's laid out really badly. Like if you want to go from like one floor to the next, you've kind of got to teleport around, and that just feels horrible. Like it's the kind of place that it's almost been feel like it's been designed to walk around, but you can't actually walk around and change levels. And if you can, you've got to you got to go like in a really random place, like in the middle, and use a lift or use a boat or something. It's just not really. I don't know. It feels like it needed to be a bit more like Mondstadt, where there's like stairs everywhere, and you know you can kind of just access places easy, basically. But the characters are cool. You know, Navia and Nuvolette and all that are really cool characters they've added. I don't diss the characters still. It's just you know, it's just the time thing. You know, it just takes so much time. You do it every day, all day, and say sometimes it's taken a few hours. And you can say it's no big deal, but it's still quite draining. Still quite mentally draining to go through this game every day, pretty much, and then go on to do other things. It can be quite draining, particularly concentration and other things. And I don't know. I'm glad I stepped away. I say I wanted to do this video just to sort of reflect on it. I no doubt might do more content around it at some point, but so I'd like to ultimately be paid. I don't think they would want to ever pay someone like me to play this game. I'm too much of a brand risk at the end of the day. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, you know, helps me out if you leave a like. It's no big deal if you don't. If you want to see me play more Genshin, or you got any ideas what you want to see me play in these sort of anime games, leave a comment, you know, or leave a comment anyway. But ultimately, I'd say I'm done. You know, I think it's important to step away from these games. Typing in quickly why I quit Genshin Impact is quite a numerous videos that have had various reasonings. So, but it's good. Overall, I've enjoyed the experience, but I think it's time at any rate to move on. So with Barbara and the sunset here, I think it's a good place to leave it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.